It's Jim Edwards here, along with my good friend.
Jeff Herring. Hey, folks.
And so, what we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to be walking you through the Epiphany Bridge script, which is part of Russell Brunson's new book, Expert Secrets. And so, Russell, as part of what we've been doing, Russell's given me permission to turn this into a script. And just for blatant self-promotion purposes, when you buy a copy of Russell's book through the link above, you'll be able to get access to this script absolutely for free. So, and by the way, Russell's giving his book away. All I have to do is just pay shipping and handling. And Jeff ordered his book through my link and is anxiously awaiting it. So this is cool.
I read the first 4 chapters and I can't wait for the rest.
There you go. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to walk through the Epiphany Bridge script. And so it's got about 30 things that we need to fill out. So we're just going to walk right through this. And the cool thing is that Jeff doesn't even know what the Epiphany Bridge script is yet because he hasn't read the book, which is kind of neat. So I will tell you, Jeff, that the Epiphany Bridge script is basically a combination of an origin story, who, what, why, how, and it's a video sales letter all rolled into one. And so it's especially if you're an expert, video personality, a coach, an author, this is a way for you to be able to tell your story in such a way that people will really resonate with it and it will make them really want to do business with you. So I know a little bit about your story, Jeff, and I'm going to suggest that what we do is you pretend that you're creating something that you're going to use to tell people about how you got started. And specifically, I want to take you back to the time when you had to move from Florida up to Atlanta, and pretty much you were starting over.
Right.
And I know that you were able to go from zero to a whole hell of a lot really, really fast. And and that story is really, really cool. And this will help you put it together in a way that I think people are going to think is neat.
Cool.
So we're just going to go through and answer the questions. So the first one is, who's your target audience, plural? So who's your target audience? And keep it real short, like entrepreneurs, home
Online
sellers.
entrepreneurs.
Okay. Can we just go with entrepreneurs?
Sure.
Okay. All right. And so now we're going through the backstory stuff. So the first thing is your backstory identity. So I was a blank. I was a newly divorced husband. I was new. What's that?
Newly divorced father.
Okay.
Yeah. Newly divorced father.
Okay. And your backstory desire. So I really wanted to blank. So I'll show you the examples. I've got 2 examples in here. One's from Russell's potato gun story. One's from my selling my house and wanting to move to Florida. So I really wanted to make extra money from potato gun sales. I really wanted to sell my house without an agent. Where were you right there?
I wanted to reinvent myself so I could be with my kids.
Okay. You skipped ahead. So I really wanted to reinvent myself because the next question is, so I could.
I'm good like that.
Yeah, that's right. You're awesome. So I could be with my kids.
Right.
Okay. And so the backstory struggle now. At the time, I was trying to blank. So make money online, sell my 2 houses. What were you trying to do?
Make money online is real close. I mean, I was trying to get something going online.
Okay. So make money online. How about replace your income online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Replace my income, my private practice income online.
Okay.
Yeah.
My private practice income online. Okay. Cool. Okay. So
Another way to say that, I was making $150 an hour.
Okay. Well,
as a counseling psychologist, but I needed to get mobile.
Okay. So the backstory, immediate problem or penalty. This is just listen. I felt I needed to do this so I wouldn't have to blank. And so the examples that we have here: drop out of school, miss out on a great job offer. So the reason you need to replace your private income online, I felt I needed to do this so I wouldn't have to what?
Not be with my kids.
Okay.
Live where my kids, so I could live where my kids were. That's positive.
Okay, not live. Okay, I really need to do this so I wouldn't have to not live near my kids.
Right.
Okay. And I really wanted to be, so your immediate desire in this case, though, I really wanted to be able to blank. So the examples are support my wife so she wouldn't have to work, take a great job in a city we both loved. So I really wanted to be able to
move to be with my kids.
Okay. Move how far?
500 miles.
Okay. That just makes it a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
To be with my kids. I can already tell this is going to be amazing. Okay, so what was something external blocking you from your desire? So I was struggling with blank, and we need to do a verb ending in ing. So the examples are making only a few dollars a day, and many days I actually lost money. I was struggling with finding a buyer for 2 houses I owned. I was struggling with what?
Trying to think of putting it into ing.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll help you do it. I was struggling with...
I was landlocked. To do what I was doing, I had to be in the office. I had to be sitting across from someone.
Okay, I was struggling with figuring out how I was going to make money.
Yeah.
How I was going to make money in a new town.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And how did this situation why did this situation make you feel terrible? So I felt terrible because blank.
I was living in Florida and my kids were living in Georgia.
Okay.
I was driving every week to see my kids, living in 2 cities every week.
Okay, that you're skipping ahead again. I felt even worse because the next one is, why was the situation made you feel even worse? I felt even worse because I was splitting my time between 2 cities every week.
Exactly. Where'd you get that
from? I'm clairvoyant. I was splitting my time between 2 cities every single week. Okay, and how did the situation make you feel about yourself? Obviously in a negative. I felt like blank. So a failure as a husband, jumping off a building.
Frustrated, missing my kids, failure as a dad.
A failure as a dad, okay. I'm telling you, this is... I'm going to come back over. I can tell you guys that this is going to be amazing. Okay, I can just tell you right up front that this is going to be amazing. Okay, so what happened that caused you to finally hit the wall? So now we're going through the phases. We've done the backstory, all that stuff. Now we're hitting the wall. So what happened? The problem was that... Okay, let me give you a couple of examples. So the problem was that Google had changed their algorithms and increased their ad costs. The problem was that I got a call that I had to be there in 60 days or they would give the job to someone else. I would say, just from listening to you, the problem was that the thing that you were trying to get across, I had the practice, I had to give up my practice. A problem was that I had
to give up my practice and reinvent myself and my business.
Okay, there you go. My established practice.
Right. Yeah, 25 years.
Practice and reinvent. There we go. I had to give up my established practice because now we're going to go, what did hitting the wall mean for you here? Hitting the wall in this case meant having to reinvent myself, myself and my business.
Yeah, reinvent myself personally and professionally.
Ooh, I like that. Personally. Well, actually, it meant I had to give up my only source of income. I had to give up my major source of income, really is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to walk away from my main source of income. Okay.
How about I had to walk away from my 6-figure practice?
Ooh, from my 6-figure practice. I want you guys to pay attention to what we're doing here, because as we're going through here and we're thinking about this, we're making it more and more sexy. We're making it more and more painful. We're digging down and finding the stuff to make this even more awesome, as opposed to just fill out the form. So let's keep going. All right, so what was the number one consequence of hitting the wall? So in this case, hitting the wall actually blank. Example, killed my only source of income, which I like, and meant I was on the clock to get those houses sold or see my dream squashed forever. So in this case, hitting the wall...
Left me sleeping in a hotel lobby on Christmas Eve.
Oh, damn.
I thought you might like that.
In a hotel lobby on Christmas Eve. Okay. Now, we're off the wall and we're getting to our epiphany. So what was the epiphany event for you? So that's when I blanked. That's when I met a friend who told me. That's when I picked up and read a book. That's when I saw a video. That's when I had a brainstorm. What was your epiphany?
That's when I decided at 3 a.m. on Christmas Eve that I was going to get so good at something online I'd never be in this situation again.
Okay. So that's when I made a decision. We want to keep this kind of short. So that's when I made a decision. And from this event, I discovered all about blank. So from that, you made the decision you were going to do what? What did you say? You made the decision that you were going to, you said it, but...
Get so good at something online, I'd never be in this situation again.
Okay. So that's when I discovered all about getting so good at publishing content online that I'd never be in this position again.
I like that.
Okay. So now, what was the big aha moment for you in this epiphany? So that's when it became crystal clear to me that the secret was creating sales funnels to leverage my family and friends to help me find a buyer. What was the big aha moment?
There's a lot of those.
Pick one.
One was my first 20,000 month.
Right, but that's not
3 months later.
Okay, but this is all about the secret. So what was the big aha, the big aha secret?
That I was already really good at something that people didn't know how to do online. I've been writing a relationship column for 10 years. I knew how to create content and then discovered most people didn't.
So the big aha, the secret was teaching people how I was building my business, building my private practice using online tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda. I did. I mean, I used those principles I used the column in the paper to build the business, but it's more than that. I think of it as X marks the spot. Something somebody's really good at and something that your customers really need. I was already really good at creating content. People didn't know how to create content.
Okay.
So that sweet spot was the epiphany moment for me.
Okay, so
people need what I know.
Okay, so the became crystal clear to me. The secret was teaching people what, or is it even teaching people?
It could be teaching people how to create content with their expertise.
Okay. All right. And so what was the big how-to revealed to you in this epiphany? So it was made clear to me how to blank, how to make more money from every customer who came in, how to get people I knew to refer me to people they knew might want to buy a house. So I think you've already said it, but because we even said it up here, it's how to create content with their expertise.
Yeah.
But
how to cash in on content.
How to cash in with content.
There you go.
Okay. So, and what did this big how-to reveal mean to you? So discovering this how-to secret meant, all his websites started working in spite of Google's increased cost. I could find a buyer without paying 6%.
For me, it created a clear path to where I wanted to go.
Okay. All right. So
you were going to say what though?
I was just going to say something about, because it ties in with your story, I was going to say something along the lines of that it didn't, the big thing I meant that it didn't matter where I lived or where anybody lived. You could make money from anywhere. Does that make sense?
My goal was to be able to make money from wherever I was. Yeah.
Right. So meant I could make money from anywhere.
Yep. That's stronger. I like that.
Anywhere okay. And again, once you get this out, you can modify it. So what was something you thought was true that was proven wrong? So I also learned that blank. So the examples are normal websites aren't enough anymore to make money online. You can just stick an ad in the paper and expect your house to sell. So what did you learn in that moment that was proven wrong?
You didn't have to be well known to make money online.
Ooh, you don't have to be well known to make money online. Okay. I like that. Okay, so what should they do now instead of what was previously to? I can't even read. So what should they do now instead of that previously true thing? So let me give you the thing. So in this case, you should stop thinking you don't have to be well known to make money online and you need to blank instead. So the example is create an actual sales funnel, use multiple streams of advertising to get your home sold. So
I'd say even simpler, get started.
Okay. So you should stop thinking you don't have to be well known to make money online and you need to get started and start building momentum. Get started.
I like that. Yeah.
And build momentum now. Okay. And so what concrete action did you take as a result of this epiphany? So put yourself back there in that time. As a result of this epiphany, I blank. So
I started doing weekly teleseminars.
Okay.
Started meeting with my community weekly. Started offering them help weekly, something like that.
Okay. I started doing weekly teleseminars and creating other content for my audience. And you know what? We're going to break these up because this will fit the next one. It's always err on the side of short. So as a result of this epiphany, I started doing weekly teleseminars. What was a positive result of taking this action? After I did that, I started connecting with my target audience.
Yeah, built a community of hungry buyers.
Ooh, there you go. I started building a community of hungry buyers. All right. And so what was the ultimate payoff of taking this action? Suddenly I was blank. And let me give you the example. Spending about, oh, damn, you already answered it. Creating content. Well, I'm going to give you my thing. But suddenly I was blank, and it should start with a verb ending in ing. So spending about $10 a day on ads and making 50 or 60 back, picking and choosing which buyers to let come see my house instead of sitting around begging for anyone to come take a look. So as a result of building this community of hungry buyers, suddenly I was
making $20K a month.
Okay. Okay.
Like that one? Did you have one in mind, though?
There you go. Well, we'll put it in there.
Okay. Because that's what happened. I went from $500 a month to $20K a month in 3 months. So.
Okay. And okay, so the plan. We may have done this a little bit soon, but that's okay. We can go back and change it. So we're coming in the home stretch. So now the plan was once you did all this stuff, the plan was to start what? Creating, and that's where we're getting into where you were saying creating other content for my audience. So my plan was to start creating other content for my audience to bring in more people.
Yeah, creating more training.
Okay. So and now we're basically gonna do 3 actions, okay? First action you took, next action you took, and the final big action you took. So I started blank, creating funnels and selling products, making a list of everyone I knew who lived in the 20-mile radius of my house. So I started what?
Building my community with weekly teleseminars. Second one would be going to live events and meeting people. And the third one is creating information products to help my community or trainings.
Okay, so the first one was building my community with weekly teleseminars. Second was went to live events to meet and network with people. And the last one was after that we kept creating.
Yeah, kept creating trainings to
creating new trainings to sell our audience.
Yeah.
Okay. To sell our growing audience. Okay, so now, and like I said, we're getting there. This takes a little while to do, but it's worth it. So the conflict, now we're into the conflict. So after that, how were things still not perfect? Now let me read you an example, okay? So First example is each new funnel we created took between 6 to 8 weeks to create on average. We had a team of 8 full-time people, including designers, programmers, and copywriters, just to get one funnel live. We had to glue together about 13 different products just to create one funnel. On average, our costs to get one funnel live were about $30,000, and only about 1 in 10 would actually recoup that money. It took a lot of time and money to find another winning funnel. Let me read you another one too. Every time we wanted to sell a house, we had to start over from scratch. Plus, a lot of people either weren't home when we called, or it took too long to get them for them to get the flyer we sent them about the property. Plus, asking people individually by phone if they knew someone who wanted to buy a house was very time consuming. So even though it was effective at getting houses sold, it was eating up 10 to 12 hours a day every time we had a new house to sell. So here's your prompt. Even after all that, things were still not perfect. Here's what I mean.
You're going to have to pull this one out of me because, I mean, for the first couple of years, it was close to perfect. But what was the ongoing frustration?
What about the things to always think about is time. It was probably eating up your time, and you were putting in a lot of time, and you weren't able to spend as much time with your kids as you wanted, even though you were able to move closer to them. Was there a problem with customer service? Was there a problem with, I mean, it basically comes down to effort, time, frustration, being spread too thin, costs a lot of money to be able to keep doing what you're doing, other competitors coming into the market, people stealing your stuff.
I was doing it all myself and had to hire a team eventually.
Okay. So as my business grew, I was struggling to keep up. I was a one-man show and was doing everything, including customer service, marketing, content creation, billing,
product creation. One of the ways I say it is when you start, you got more time than money.
Right.
You can do everything, but then pretty soon if you do it right, you got more money than time, and you need help.
Okay. Basically, I got to the point where I had more money than time, and I needed some help because I was spending a lot more time working than I was in my previous practice. Plus, I wasn't able to spend time with my sons. Even though I was living closer to them. Is that good enough?
Yep.
Okay. So, now we get into the achievement. So we're definitely coming in the home stretch. We've got about 10 more things we need to answer. Cool. So what did you decide to do as a result of the conflict? So we ended up getting so frustrated that we decided to hire some help, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Hire some help.
Hire an assistant.
Okay.
I mean, I used to get off a teleseminar and, edit the audio, get it all together, blah, 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 get it out to people. I'll always remember the first time I had somebody else doing it and hung up the phone to the teleseminar and thought, I'm done.
Right. Okay. So now, and I may have done a little bit of a disservice to you in explaining this, but part of the problem is you're doing this completely cold and have no idea what we're doing. So if we can make this work for you, then anybody who's read the book, available at expertsecrets.com/Jim, get it free, except just pay a small shipping and handling. Our purpose here ultimately is to sell a product, okay? And so the reason that we are creating this backstory is to set up the stage for you to do the big reveal of how all this stuff you went through culminated in a particular product, okay? So what that means is that I should have asked you at the beginning, what is the product that you actually want to sell? What is the thing that you want to promote with this? So what would be the product that you ultimately came out with that did this for everybody was your templates, right? So
Right.
we could either talk about the templates, or we can talk about custom content wizard. We can, whatever. Let's talk about your templates. Okay.
Well,
Let's do the templates. Let's do the templates, because that ties in, and you'll see when you see it. And then you can always modify it, but I know the templates is the closest thing. So, all right, so let me go back over here. So we ended up getting so frustrated, we decided to, and in this case, let me read you the examples and it'll make sense. So we decided to create a platform that would make it really easy for us to create sales funnels. We decided to create a course that taught everything we learned about how to sell multiple houses yourself, no matter what the market conditions. So in this case, what I know about you, we ended up getting so frustrated, we decided to create a course or create a series of templates to help people create content lightning fast. Is that what you did?
Yeah, created a set of templates that allow people to create content fast.
Okay. Of proven templates.
Proven time-tested templates.
Templates that allowed people to create content fast.
How about allowing even beginners to create content fast?
Even beginners. Okay. To create great content fast. Okay. All right. And so we chose to call it, what was the name of it?
Profitable content creation templates.
Okay. And so, so now we're still in the achievement section. What was the big, awesome dream result you wanted? So we thought if we could create something that would make it possible to blank, it would be awesome. So,
Something they could do or something I wanted to do.
What you were creating. We're still talking about the profitable content creation template. So we're telling the thing is, so
I wanted to show people that even people that believe they couldn't write, they could create content.
Okay. So make it possible to help people who think they can't write to create content. That would be awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And now the big hurdle, here's the big hurdle. What big hurdle did you get over to create the solution? So after blank, and let me read you these. So after 8 months of programming and every penny I had ever made, after 4 months of testing, tweaking, and 12-hour days, testing every single aspect of what it takes to sell your house without an agent. So after what?
After taking 10 years of weekly columns and figuring out what I've been doing, basically, we were able to create templates. I mean, I look back at what I've been doing for 10 years and look for the patterns, look for the styles, look for what could be templatized.
Okay. So taking 10 years of weekly newspaper columns and figuring out how to turn them into templates. Okay. And so the achievement, what amazing dream outcome did you achieve? So though it sounds almost too good to be true, I can now blank. So I can now build in an hour by myself without any tech people what used to take me and my team of 8 guys 6 to 8 weeks. And these funnels run faster and convert way higher. Or though it sounds almost too good to be true, I can now sell any house without an agent, no matter what the price, neighborhood, or market conditions, easier and faster than hiring a broker paying their outrageous commissions. So even though it sounds almost too good to be true, I can now what?
Can now show anyone how to take the content in their head, create content with it, and get traffic, build a list, and turn it into information products. That's long, but show anybody how to cash in on their content.
How about this? Show anyone how to take the ideas in their head, turn them into content, and use those ideas to make money.
That's a nice distillation.
I do what I can.
I've heard that.
All right, so now we're just going to sum up the achievement. And so, again, there's no right or wrong for this. And then all we're going to do is the transformation and we're done. So we probably have about 4 or 5 more minutes on this. So the achievement is, how can you sum up the results of your achievement? So as a result of this, we were able to achieve the following. So the first example is within just 2 years, over 30,000 people use ClickFunnels to power their entire business. In fact, in 2016, we had 71 people who made over $1 million with a single funnel. Example number 2 is within just the last 36 months, we've successfully bought and sold over 20 houses and lots for an average profit margin of 25% after all expenses. We also sold our houses in an average of 12 days, while the average time on market with a realtor in our market is 93 days. Bottom line, we sold faster and for a lot more money than we ever could have by hiring a broker. So as a result of what we were able to, as a result of all this, we were able to achieve the following. So give me a couple of bullets here.
Able to help thousands of people create and cash in on their content.
Okay.
Personally, I was able to move from a 700 square foot apartment to a house.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Went from 500 to 20K online a month. Began to speak at internet marketing conferences. That's about me, though. Let's make it. What were people getting? They were building their businesses. They were discovering they could create information products out of their content. Here you go. Thousands of people were discovering that creating content was the ticket to success online.
All right. All right. So help thousands of people to create and cash in on their content. I was able to move from a 700 square foot apartment to a nice house. Went from $500 a month to $20,000 a month in my own business. We help thousands of people discover that creating content is the key to success online. So that's cool. So now what we're going to do is the transformation. And really what the transformation is where we pull everything together, and it's where we wrap up the story. It's like in the hero's journey. This is the, Luke Skywalker defeats whoever, and then he discovers that it had nothing to do with anything. It was who he became in the process. So that's really, now we're going to talk about your transformation.
It's like, Dorothy, you've had the power all along, dearie.
Yeah. If you weren't smoking stuff with those midgets. Oh wait, I have to apologize now. If you weren't smoking that crazy stuff with the little people in the Lollipop Guild, you could have figured this out 2 hours ago, but we had to do the whole movie. So see, now my political aspirations are still, I can still run for president because I immediately fixed that little social gaffe.
But then Pink Floyd never would have been able to make that album that goes along with The Wizard of Oz. So.
Okay, so now thinking back to when things were different and how you were different. So what was the first big payoff of all this work? So as a result of this, I was able to achieve my dream of being able to live near my kids, right? Okay.
Yep. Live with my kids.
Live with my kids. Okay. What were you able to stop doing as a result? I've also been able to stop, spending so much time at work, worrying about.
Working all the time. I got so much more free time.
Okay. So I've been able to stop working all the time. And the reason you can stop doing what you used to do. So I can stop that working all the time because we now blank. What? Create content so much faster.
Create content faster. I like the notion of coming up with an idea, going from idea to cash in the same day.
Ooh. I like that. Okay. And this is the last one. What was the big emotional end result payoff here? And in the end, all of this means I'm now able to, and let me read you the example. So be with my kids and never miss any of the highlights of their lives. Spend time relaxing and doing the things I enjoy, like spending time with my wife and fishing. So.
All right. Pull something out of this. Okay. Because here's the story I use. There's a book. It's a children's book called Hatchet. Okay. You ought to read it. It's about a kid that's flying to go see his dad, and the plane crashes in Canada in a river. The pilot dies. He's got to survive. Okay, and he builds a little hut and he finds a way to do it. Da 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 da. And he's making it. Okay. Well, a storm comes and tears it all down. And the line I loved was, "But it was okay because he knew he could do it all again."
Okay, so in the end, all of this means I'm now able to handle any. I'm now able to confidently handle any situation life throws at me because my business. I understand what you're saying. Basically, what you're trying to say is I can handle any situation life throws at me because my business makes it possible. My business makes me enough money that I can handle anything that life throws my way.
Yeah.
Okay. I can any situation because my business makes more than enough money to help me handle anything life throws my way. All right.
Is there a better way to say that?
Maybe, but we're gonna save this now. Okay, so I'm gonna save the project, in which we always want to do that, and I've got it saved. I would always save it in my little folder and stuff. Now we're gonna click the build button, and this is where all the magic happens, and I'm going to read you this story, and I want you to listen, okay? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to show your face, so look at the camera, and I want people to see your reaction as I read this. So, I was a newly divorced father trying to replace my private practice income online. I really wanted to reinvent myself so I wouldn't have to not live near my kids. So it might change that to I wouldn't have to live far away from my kids. I wanted to be able to move 500 miles to be with my kids, and okay, we're going to have to change this a little bit. Let me just show this, but we'll show you what it spits out, and then we're going to fix this, okay? I wanted to be able to move 500 miles and be with my kid. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go back up here and change this real quick. I'm going to do this on the fly. I really wanted to be able to move 500 miles. So we're going to click this again. It's going to fix it. And again, change it. I wanted to be able to move 500 miles so I could be with my kids. The thing was, I was figuring out how I was going to make money in a new town. That meant I wasn't able to move the 500 miles, let alone be with my kids. And the thing is, I was figuring out how I was going to walk away from my existing practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing was, I was figuring out how I was. Let me find it real quick. How I was going to I was figuring out how to deal with the fact that I was being forced to move away from my established practice. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's whack the button again. And this is how you do it, folks. This is how we do it. Okay. The thing is, I was figuring out how to deal with the fact that I was being forced to move away from my established practice. That meant I wasn't able to move the 500 miles, let alone be with my kids. So the internal struggle. To make things worse, I felt terrible because I was living in Florida and my kids were living in Georgia. I felt even worse about the situation because I was splitting my time between two cities every week. I felt like a failure as a dad. That one sounds good. The problem was I had to give up my established practice, which meant I had to walk away from my six-figure practice, which left me sleeping in a hotel lobby on Christmas Eve. Ooh.
That'll work.
Then, as if by chance, something amazing happened. That's when I made a decision made the decision to get so good at publishing content online that I'd never be in this position again. Now I'm editing it a little bit as we go. It was now crystal clear to me how to cash in with content because I saw it would allow me There we go. I'm going to change this. I could make to, it would allow me to make, money from anywhere.
Yep.
Because I saw it would allow me to make money from anywhere. I also learned that you don't have to be well known to make money online. You need to get started and build momentum now instead. As a result, I started doing weekly teleseminars. After I did that, I started building a community of hungry buyers. Suddenly, I was making $20,000 a month in 3 months. That's when I realized that the secret to replace my private practice income online was teaching people how to create content with their expertise. So my plan was to create other content for my audience to bring in more people. So I started building my community with weekly teleseminars, but we didn't stop there. We then went to live events to meet and network with people. After that, we kept creating new trainings to sell to our growing audience, but there was still a problem. As my business grew, I was struggling to keep up. I was a one-man show and was doing everything, including customer service, marketing, content creation, billing, product creation. Basically, I got to the point where I had more money than time and I needed some help because I was spending a lot more time working than I was in my previous practice. Plus, I wasn't able to spend time with my sons, even though I was living closer to them. The achievement. We ended up getting so frustrated that we decided to create a set of proven templates that allowed people, even beginners, to create great content fast. We chose to call it Profitable Content Creation Templates. We thought if we could create something that would make it possible to help people who think they can't write to create content, we'd be really happy. After taking 10 years of weekly newspaper columns and figuring out how to turn them into templates, we created Profitable Content Creation Templates. I can now show anyone how to take the ideas in their head, turn them into content, and use those ideas to make money. We then started to let other entrepreneurs use profitable content creation templates, and as a result of all this, we were able to achieve the following. Help thousands of people to create and cash in on their content. I was able to move from a 700 square foot apartment into a nice house. We went from $500 a month to $20,000 a month in my own business, and we helped thousands of people to discover that creating content is the key to success online. So now we're in the transformation. After creating profitable content creation templates, I was not only able to live with my kids, I've also been able to stop working all the time because we can now go from idea to cash the same day. And in the end, all of this means I'm now able to confidently handle any situation because my business makes more than enough money to help me handle anything life throws my way. So my question to you is,
I want to copy of that.
Okay, well, I'll download the results now, and I'll even I can send you the project file too, so you can load it up. Because since you bought Expert Secrets from expertsecrets.com/Jim, Jeff is entitled to use this script to create his own Epiphany Bridge stories. Now, in all seriousness, though, it needs a little bit. And I can already see a couple spots where it needs a little smoothing and stuff like that. And maybe a half an hour of editing, this thing would be just smooth as, a baby after three cans of something kind of smooth. I just totally screwed that joke up. I was going to say it'd be smooth as a baby after 3 bottles of Gerber bananas, but I screwed it. Sorry. My point though, Jeff, is you've been doing this for a long time, not almost as long as me, maybe even a little longer than me, because sometimes we both started the same year, before the turn of the century. But
back in the last century.
Yeah. Bottom line, I want your totally frank opinion of what we just did there, especially with you walking in cold, not really even knowing what we were going to do, and coming closer to the camera.
It's not knowing where we were going. And what you pulled out of me and the story it turned into, I'm picturing that story from stage. I'm picturing that story on webinars. I'm picturing that story in copy and different versions of it for different things too. Because that's just not something you can use once. You can use that over and over again, right?
Well, yeah. In fact, in the book, Expert Secrets, available from expertsecrets.com/Jim, just pay a small shipping and handling. This is really one of the linchpins of becoming an expert, is being able to tell a story about you and your product and your backstory and everything that your audience can and will resonate with, so that they feel drawn to you and they're like, hey, look, Jeff's a real dude. He's just like me. He faces the same struggles. He overcame them. That's how he did it. I need to go buy his product. Notice in here, in nowhere in here does it say buy my product.
Right.
It nowhere, but yet anybody who listens to this, who's interested in content creation, is going to be asking themselves, how can I get those profitable content creation templates?
The way you pulled stuff out of me and the way it's structured, people are going to be thinking, maybe not even in a way they can speak, but at a real powerful covert level, wow, if he can do it, I can do it.
And he put in all the work to make it easy for me to do that.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage number one, I want to say thanks, Jeff. Great job. Appreciate you doing that with us. I'll get you a copy of this. I would tell everybody, make sure that you do, in all seriousness, if you want to get access to this script right away, you need to go buy a copy of Russell's book through my link, expertsecrets.com/Jim. Within 24 hours, we'll get you access to this, and you can go through it and you can create your own Epiphany Bridge script a hell of a lot faster than you're going to do it on your own and doing it manually. And it's super powerful. And just as an aside, for those of you who care at home, it took me weeks to put this thing together, to be able to come up with the questionnaires, to be able to suck it out of you. When we were going through it, I see a couple things that I need to fix that are not a big deal, but I need to fix them. I'm constantly tweaking these things. But the only way to get access to it right now is to buy the book through my link, and we'll get you access to it. And I think you're really going to enjoy it, and it's going to make a big difference for you. So thanks again, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good job.
And we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.